On these winds of victory ride emotions of a year, of work and sweat, guts, glory, and fear.
Welcome, folks, to the 2009 Vai Sikahema Touchdown Celebration Fantasy Football League Season Preview. Draft Day 2009 returns to Fort McCollum in Silver Lake, California for the second consecutive season. Digital Monkeys Eric Grau and Master of Ceremonies, the Commissioner, Stephen Shaler, will be preparing regional culinary delights. Moving right along and beginning with the Queso Conference. Defending champs, the 1989ers debuted a new logo this week, Death by Paper Football. Queso foes will face a similar demise when they go up against Mike's keepers Matt Forte, Jonathan Stewart, and Donovan McNabb. While McNabb may only be a 5th or 6th ranked fantasy quarterback, that special place he holds in Mike's heart, well, that makes him a keeper. Queso runners-up, Iron Zion Lions, returned 3 running backs from a team that overcame Tom Brady's season-long injury to go a respectable 9-7. The recently married Sam Wallach is no stranger to commitment. Sam stuck it out with original draft pick Ronnie Brown, who hasn't exactly lived up to expectations in his 3 seasons on Sam's roster. What better way to avoid sweating over Texas bar exam results than to be supremely focused on the fantasy football task at hand? Ted and Les Bleus bring back D'Angelo Williams, who ended the year on an absolute tear, along with Tampa Bay free agent signing Derek Ward and Cowboy big play threat Felix Jones. You know fantasy football season is right around the corner when Jeff Chapman sends you a text warning you of his impending passion, dedication, and thoroughness for the upcoming campaign. What's Chappening is not to be taken lightly. He's returning the number 1 quarterback and number 1 running back on most people's boards, Drew Brees and Adrian Peterson. But lest we forget, he made a whopping 5, count 'em, 5 transactions last season. Eric Grau makes the draft day trip from Washington to Silver Lake for the second consecutive year. Last year's rebuilding has paid off as the Monkeys return standout second-year man Steve Slayton, rising star Aaron Rodgers, and perennial preseason cheap shot artist Steve Smith. Say hello to my little friend, the Guacamole Conference. The burning question in the backs of all fantasy owners' minds this offseason: does the Great Firewall of China block FantasySharks.com? Fear not, fellow owners, as we shall find out soon enough as Dickie makes his way back to the Golden Shores, just in time to grab some smoked beef ribs. Will the great auto-drafter snooze through the selections in a jet-lagged, Xanax, and brisket-induced coma, only to wake up and learn that the computer drafted Deuce McAllister in the 9th round? Or will he make all the right moves? An owner who shakes his team up like John Daly shakes dice at the craps table. You better believe Nick will be involved in some blockbuster trades. But when you consider he could be returning Slayton, Jones-Drew, and Randy Moss, well, you have to wonder about all that wheeling and dealing. How will Tony Romo fare without his favorite drama queen? Will Thomas Jones pursue a career in the fashion industry? Will Tim Hightower even be relevant at season's end? Stay tuned. Last year's apparel is this year's, well, no one knows what Commish Shaler's team name will be come draft day, but one thing's for sure, he's coming to play. Armed with the red zone package for the 3rd consecutive season, the Missioners return Marion Barber, late season standout Pierre Thomas, and keeper deadline decision Greg Jennings. Marshawn Lynch, we hardly knew yet. The brothers Garber are yet to make a message board post. That doesn't mean they're not paying attention. Roddy White, Reggie Bush, and last year's number 1 overall pick, Darren McFadden, make them a force to be reckoned with in the guac. After one VSTDC championship and a $180 second place cash prize last season, there's high expectations in Venice once again. Suadero owner David Tillman returns 2 top 3 wideouts in Larry Fitzgerald and Calvin Johnson, along with giant Brandon Jacobs. The country was ready for Obama. Is the league ready for Suadero? Suadero. Is there a greater declaration of war than stealing someone's franchise name? How about doing it twice? Week 1 will not only feature a league-wide doubleheader, but will also feature the Yakeman Bowl, as the 2 teams battle it out for the rights to a nickname with seemingly no explicable origin. Yakeman OG brings back Chris Johnson, Kurt Warner, and Dwayne Bowe, while Ethan's Bizarro Yakeman will look to build on a strong squad of Maurice Jones-Drew, Reggie Wayne, and Kevin Smith. Will Plaxico Burress be auto-drafted by Dickey? Will Brett Favre throw more interceptions than touchdowns? Will Mike Vick play nice? Will Vince Young play? Are we too old for this? Stay tuned.